You mentioned products being bottled. One of the companies that Conservation International works with is Fiji Water, which takes water out of a little island in the Pacific, puts it on fossil fuel powered trucks and ships, and then trucks, and then comes to the United States or Europe. And they've done some good things restoring ecosystems in some places, but their core product is taking water and shipping it halfway around the world in plastic bottles. Is that core business sustainable? And are they just doing some greenwashing by kind of saying, well, we kind of look at this nice garden over here that we've helped preserve, but their core product is...
I'm glad that you brought that up.
Really?
Yeah. It's really, it's because it's actually, it's a great question, and it's the answer kind of looks at the complexity of the situation. If we had clean water and ample amounts of it all over the world, we wouldn't need bottled water, for sure. If you go to many parts of the world, and I don't want to just focus right on Fiji yet, I will answer the question about Fiji water, but if you go to many, many parts of the world, you don't have clean water.
Yep, I drink,
the only water that's available is water that's brought in somehow from somewhere to drink. And so there is a real challenge in that there are billions of people on Earth do not have access to clean water. The most common cause of death in children is infant diarrhea caused by polluted water. So number one, we got a real issue. We should focus on cleaning water, and I think that that's kind of essential. The next question is, how about kind of this market that will allow a bottled water to be as expensive as Fiji water, more expensive than gasoline, and
100 times cheaper than local
alternatives? How does that work? How
Yeah.
does that work? There is, I mean, I think Fiji water faces a huge challenge, and the challenge is that transport of their product. And that's the downside. The downside is they're spending money, burning fossil fuels, emitting CO2, moving water across the Pacific. The upside for what Fiji water does is this. The largest forest in the Pacific is on Fiji. And the only reason it's standing is because Fiji water has found a product that's produced by that forest that they can sell. So they have created a fund that actually permanently finances, supports all the communities that live in those forest areas. It's called the Sovi Basin, S-O-V-I. So it's their action that has resulted in the protection of the largest forest in the Pacific Islands, number one, a revenue source for all the communities, number two, and the creation of jobs, the largest employer on the island of Fiji. So when you look at it that way, what you understand is that it's not as simple as good guys versus bad guys. And so what we have done with Fiji water was not a greenwashing engagement. It was basically saying, okay, you were there, how do we do, what are we going to be able to do to actually benefit the environment? The burning of forests and clearing of forests in terms of CO2 emissions is 18%, 15 to 18% of all CO2 emissions, more than every car, truck, plane, ship in the world combined in terms of CO2 emissions. And so what we're trying to figure out is how do we stop deforestation? So the engagement with Fiji water started out looking at that. We want to stop the destruction of the forest because the only option was the destruction of that forest. And that's how that engagement began. That's a CO2 benefit. But you know, I totally take your point. What we're trying to do is figure out if they're there, how do we get them to do the right thing and at the same time protect biodiversity, preserve forests?